Welcome to Qualcy. My name is Sanjay Dar. I am the group leader for quality and compliance solutions at Qualcy. I am also the co-founder and CEO at Qualcy. I have more than 20 plus years of experience in the biomedical industry. We looked at the official FDA inspection data from 2024, and we'd like to share some of the updates what we found. We spent some time looking at the FDA's official inspection database, analyzing warning letters, and cross-referencing remediation costs from public filings. What we found would concern most of the QA leaders in the biomed industry. This is not opinion, this is not speculations. So these are actual numbers from FDA's fiscal year 2024 enforcement actions. Let me walk you through the data and show you the trends, what the data reveals, and what you can do about this. In the fiscal year 2024, there were 190 warning letters issued and 3,000 plus Form 483 issued. So what that means, if the 483s are not addressed, they are going to appear in the warning letters. So these are the documented deficiencies inspector find during the facility inspections. The issues that, if not corrected, eventually going to become warning letters. And 60% of the citations were related to quality system failures. Think about this. 3,000 opportunities for companies to find themselves in enforcement proceedings. And here is the finding that should get your attention. 60% of those citations were quality system failures, not manufacturing breakdowns, not facility control failures, not raw material issues. Quality system failures, these systems are supposed to prevent the problems, detect the issues early, and ensure continuous improvement. These systems are what's failing at 60% of inspected facilities. Your CAPA system, your deviation management process, your documentation controls, your investigation procedures. These are FDA's primary concern right now. Let's break down the numbers. 38% were for inadequate investigations and CAPA process. What does this mean? It means the companies who are not properly identifying the root causes, or they are not able to see the trends or connections between different data sources. 31% were cited for inadequate procedures and controls. This does not mean that the companies don't have the procedures. They do have the procedures. They look perfect on the paper, but these procedures were not implemented properly. The controls they have do not reflect the actual practice. And 27% were documentation failures. Now, most companies think documentation failures are about missing signatures or incomplete batch records. But here is what FDA is actually finding. Companies cannot demonstrate that they even know what's happening in their own quality systems. Here is the insight most people would miss. These are not quality failures. These are information management failures. You have three departments investigating the same root cause as if there are three completely different problems. You have patterns that are obvious to FDA during 2 hours of inspections, but it has been invisible to you over months of daily operations. That's not a quality problem. That's an information visibility problem. And it's costing companies millions when FDA finds the patterns. So let's look at what's the real cost of the findings or remediations. For a mid-sized pharma companies with 400 million revenue, the typical remediation cost can run up to 60 million or more. That's 15% of your annual revenue. Not invested in R&D, not going to shareholder returns, completely lost fixing the problems. For large enterprises with a 4 billion revenue company, it can go up to 600 millions or more in the remediation costs. So you may be thinking these numbers are too high, but let me give you some ideas what happens when you have to implement this, when you have to implement the remediations. You would be hiring an army of consultants, compliance specialists, validation experts, all billing $300 to $500 per hour. You are running validation studies, requalification protocols across your organization's maybe entire operations. And the typical time it takes to complete the remediations could be 9 to 24 months. So in the meantime, there may be hold on your products to be sold in the markets. So you lose revenue when there is remediation hold. You would be losing sales when there is the regulatory holds on your products. The total cost could run up to 20 to 30% of the revenue when you account for all these things. Here are some real life examples, and you might be thinking these numbers sound too high. Is this what really companies are spending? These are not theoretical projections. We pulled out these numbers from public SEC filings and consent decree agreements. What changed was that FDA's expectation evolved. The agency is now expecting predictive quality systems, systems that identify patterns before they become patient safety issues. We have seen companies using AI powered quality management systems are seeing 60% fewer FDA findings. Now, let me be clear about what I mean by that. AI is not magic. What AI powered systems do is connect the dots across the departments that human beings cannot see when the data lives in separate silos. They automatically identify when a manufacturing deviation shares the root cause characteristics with a quality control out of spec results. They surface patterns across products, processes, and timeframes that would take a human analyst weeks to discover. They predict where your next CAPA failures is likely to occur based on historical patterns. We took the data, we analyzed these data sources to create these presentations. If you have any questions, if you would like to discuss more about this, how you can prevent or how you can establish AI-based quality management systems that would predict, but that would prevent the failures before they happen, you can give us a call. You can submit a request at quality.com. Thank you.